back at WNST, Towson, Baltimore, and Baltimore Positive. We are positively into a short week. Big football game on Sunday night. We're going to be at Costas Inn in Dundalk on Friday with Johnny O, continuing the Maryland Crab Cake Tour presented by the Maryland Lottery. We're also going to be on Sunday at Wise Markets with our friends Rob Santoni at the Crab Wagon. That's going to happen at 11 a.m. over in Fullerton. This guy has been involved in sports radio. Dad was a lifer baseball player. He was a baseball player, and now he's out there in Kansas City, Missouri, just getting his fan card going for the Chiefs, being Royals alumni. We welcome Brian McRae back onto the program. Man, when I left you, my hair was short. You were coaching baseball. What's going on, McRae? How are you, man?
It's been a changing world the last couple of years, and a lot has gone on. I thought that the Ravens would be coming to Kansas City for an AFC Championship game a couple of years ago, and that we would hang out and go get some barbecue.
I'm looking forward to that, that day. Now, that being said, we got a game here this week. I'll get to the baseball and we'll get to all that mess. As we sit here and do this, the Yankees are in town and Nestor Cortez, there's a real Nestor in the major leagues. But football, for what the Chiefs represent in that town right now, and you were an athlete, you grew up in that town with your dad, the whole deal. There's some level of expectation and reality for what's happened there with this kid that's come to town that sort of has made them the Chicago Bulls, right? Like they're supposed to win every year now all of a sudden. Didn't last year because Brady's special, right?
Not only win, but win big.
Every week.
They're supposed to blow teams out every week, score on almost every possession. Mahomes is supposed to be 100% passing rating. It's the expectations on this team are very high, and the organization, what they're trying to do, the things that they're doing at the stadium and what they're charging for premium seats and all of this is something that has never happened here in the Kansas City area. At this level, we're seeing things that not even when the Royals were great, 76 to 85, and George Brett, and these are things that we have not seen in this area. People are acting crazier about Patrick Mahomes and all the Chiefs players than any of the famous athletes that have come through here. It's something that we may not see again, and people are basically losing their minds over this team.
Well, with a name like Aparicio and your name being McRae, he's a baseball name. You know what I mean? He's got baseball bloodlines making him great, right?
But Mahomes has a baseball bloodline, but he chose the right sport.
Oh, for him, for sure. There's no doubt. Did you know his dad a little?
We were teammates, and I see him every Saturday night before home games. We hung out on Saturday at a little pub by my place downtown, and we'll catch up. And
tell me about him and your life then, because I thought you played with him. So
yeah, we
crossed paths. How old were you? How old was he? Give me the life path there.
I think he's 52, and I'm 54. We played in the minor leagues against each other with the Twins and the Royals, and then played in the big leagues because in the Central Division with the Twins and the Royals. So I saw him a lot and got to know him well. And then he was a teammate of mine in New York in '99 with the Mets, and we used to hang out, and we hang out all the time. And
so little Patrick, did you hold little Patrick in your...
I didn't hold him, but I saw him running around.
So, I mean, that's a fascinating insight. I mean, somebody, when you were playing in the major league, said, I saw Hal's kid hanging around the cage around here, right? There is something about that that only you know about, right?
It is cool when we catch up and see pictures of him in a Mets uniform when he's running around the field on Father Kids Day and things like that. So it's nice to see, not only for the city of Kansas City and the Chiefs organization, but somebody that I personally know his father and was a teammate of his father, and now getting to watch the little kid that I saw running around Shea Stadium, getting to watch him out here at Arrowhead play for the Chiefs is a pretty special thing.
Well, you know about that pride. Your old man had it in you, right? Literally, right?
Yeah.
Every day. Brian McRae is here. He's out in Kansas City. We're talking a little football, and well, I guess we'll get to some baseball, but the football thing's fascinating. We have this special guy here too, right? And Lamar Jackson, this unicorn athlete that can do things nobody else can do. Man, the injuries, the level of expectation here is so high, and it's just gone through the floor over the last 2 weeks. I mean, we lost 3 running backs in 6 days here. We lost Marcus Peters, and you guys know all about that. It's just next man up. I even got Brian Billick to admit this week, next man up's all bullshit. You know, that's not a real thing. I mean, because it's impossible to bring guys in off the street and try to win football games. And the Ravens almost did that the other night in Las Vegas.
It looked pretty good. For a while, it looked like what they had done with the running backs, and I was like, well, they're not missing a beat, but you may be able to get away with it for a week or two. You're not going to get away with it for a full season, and you can get away with it against the Raiders because the Raiders aren't that good. I don't think the Raiders are that good. They found a way to pull out that game the other night, but I don't think that's a good football team. But the Ravens now are in a position where they're going to be staring. There's a good chance they're going to be staring 0-2 in the face.
Well, we're aware of that, and I'm trying to find a seam or an outlet here to say they're going to beat the Chiefs. The Chiefs have been kryptonite for Lamar. Last year, we had the empty stadium. The one thing I would say is we're going to the game Sunday night. It's going to be vibrant. It was different in Vegas, and
it was different here in Kansas City on Sunday. The first time in almost a year and a half, you get a full crowd. So the energy level is going to be different. And the Ravens need to be able to find ways to feed off that and do something early to set the tone against the Chiefs, because I just feel that if the Chiefs get up early, that Lamar Jackson and the Ravens offense aren't going to be able to match them.
Everybody believes that, right? Everybody believes the way to beat Lamar, keep him in the pocket. I had Mike Nolan talking about that all week at Baltimore Positive. You know, don't let him get outside the pocket. Make him throw the football. And then when you get a lead, he has to throw the football, and they're just not going to do that at the level they need to do it. That's a grave concern around here because they've won a lot of football games just running the ball, and it's so left-handed for most defenses and defensive coordinators what they do. But then you get to January and you find yourself in a game, in a big boy game in Kansas City, at Arrowhead in January, and you're losing 21-3. It's over.
I don't see any scenario other than the Chiefs shooting themselves in the foot multiple times that the Ravens can win this ballgame.
Well, stopping Waller.
Mahomes didn't make mistakes in September.
Stopping Waller, 19 targets the other night. I mean, Kelsey's going to go nuts in here. Brian McRae is joining us from Kansas City. Yes, he was a baseball player talking some football. What are you doing, man? You were coaching ball. Give me a little COVID update on the world of McRae.
Coaching as much. Things have kind of shut down there with the travel ball and things of that nature. My daughter is 15, a freshman in high school. So it's a good time for me to step back and be more of a dad and get her acclimated to high school. She feels a little overwhelmed right now. So it's a good time for me not to do much. And that's kind of what I'm doing.
You know, I took a year and a half and moved my brand to Baltimore Positive, and now football's going, and it's sort of different without a locker room and without relationships and without being able to talk to people. So things are changing a little bit. One thing hasn't changed. The Chiefs are going to come in here, Andy Reid, John Harbaugh, all that. And the other thing that hasn't changed, dude, the Orioles, man. I mean, you know, these multiple losing streaks and being not competitive at all, like having no plan to put major league players, especially on the hill right now. They don't have any major league pitching.
I can't even watch that kind of. When the Royals played the Orioles, I could not watch those games. It was terrible. The Orioles, I think, won the series, but it was not baseball. It was not a good brand. It was ugly, and I feel sorry for the fans that do go out to the games in Baltimore, what they have to put up with on a nightly basis.
What's the
It's
future of
embarrassing.
all this, dude? I mean, you've done this your whole life and the Players Association shifting and all this. I mean, Brian, they're playing 7-inning games now, right? They're putting a guy on second base in the 10th inning. I mean, I haven't called you to bitch about all of this. Your dad was one of the first designated hitters, so I'm sure that was you know, all the rage about changing the game. And I'm not such a crazy traditionalist about anything. I'm about having it make sense, be exciting, be engaging, be competitive, be fair. There's been nothing that feels fair about any of this when it comes to balance in making teams good. You're either can win or you're rebuilding. And if you're rebuilding, you're not even trying. I mean, it's like serving bad food at a restaurant. It really is. It's just a place you don't go.
All right.
Next year will be a good place to see what's going on, to see what baseball is doing and what they're trying to, where they're going with the new CBA and things like that.
Brian McRae joining us here. We are, Brian, I'll let you go, man. I appreciate the love, the baseball, the football.
Thank you.
Jack Stack for you, crab
Yeah.
cakes for me. When we get together, we'll do it, you know, and make it happen. But I'm glad you're staying COVID-free and safe out there.
All right. Well, same to you. Give Jen my love. And I just hope for a competitive game on Sunday night.
If we're awake at 11 o'clock biting our nails, I'll consider it a victory. You know, it'll be a big night on Sunday night. I just want Al Michaels to say Baltimore. Chris Collinsworth coming in this Sunday night. Luke is out in Owings Mills. If there's any breaking news, you'll get that first on the WNST Tech Services. All brought to you by our friends at Coons Ford Security Boulevard. I'm Nestor. We are WNST, AM 1570, Towson, Baltimore. We never stop talking. Baltimore, positive.